Hello and welcome to our special program Behind the Scene China Film 2025. Today, we're here to kick back, look back, and talk about what really stood out in Chinese cinema this year from all the perspectives of journalists who've been following it up close. I'm Min Rui, and I've written a dozen of film reviews over the past year. Joining me today here are two people who've practically lived in the movie theaters, film festivals, and press screenings throughout this year. And could you tell us a little bit about who you are, Xiaofei and Mohan, to the audiences?
Hello everyone, I'm Xiaofei. I'm a huge movie fan. I have been going to Chinese film festivals as both a reporter and a fan. I have been to most of the film festivals in China, like the Beijing, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Changchun, Pingyao, and so on.
Well, that's big and small, the festivals across China, all across China.
He is the pro, apparently. And for me, my name is Liu Mohan. I am longtime friends with Min Rui and Xiaofei, and I'm also a reporter here at CGTN covering a lot of cultural events and some film festivals where I interviewed filmmakers from all over the world, and I'm definitely going to share more about that later on. And also, like Xiaofei, I'm a true movie fan myself.
Well, big names during the festivals and interviews. Wow, that sounds very fascinating experiences. And I'm really glad to have you both with me today. And here comes my first question to kick this program start. How many films have you seen this year, and what movie stood out the most to you?
Hudson Wild in pursuit of suspect. 开车，收你们来了。好啊！
现在你就是荔枝屎了。这饼太大了，我吃不下。这照片不能再小，小就是汉奸。
Well, one movie I have to mention is Ne Zha 2, that animated blockbuster. This is a very important milestone in the history of world cinema. In recent years, China has actually produced a lot of great animated films like Ne Zha, I'm What I Am, Chang'an. The industry is growing really fast. Ne Zha's success didn't come out of nowhere. I think a big reason for this is the increase in art colleges. Over the past few decades, more people are able to study painting and film, and this has helped build a large pool of talented professionals. These movies were made by big teams of skilled Chinese animators. Plus, many of them get their creative inspiration from traditional Chinese stories and culture, which makes them even more popular. The growth of art education has really played a huge part in the rise of Chinese animation today.
Ne Zha is currently #1 in the box office chart of 2025. And I recall when I watched this film, in the ending part, when the credits roll up, there were like more than 100 companies listed in the credits, which actually surprised me a lot because the system behind the movie actually is kind of a technological step up. Compared with the other movies, and also we can definitely see a growth of the technology use in the movie in the sector.
I think when we talk about the films that stood out in the whole year of 2025, Ne Zha is definitely the one we all have to mention, right? It has such a massive success. In China, it's top 1, but in the global box office record, it's listed at #5, I think, in terms of the general box office.
All-time global box office chart. Yes.
Yeah.
Quite phenomenal.
Yes. And the massive success of Ne Zha actually boosted audiences' interest in animated film in general. And after this word, you see release of films like 浪浪山小妖怪,
Nobody the film.
and The Legend of Luo Xiaobei, and so on. And people love it so much. And these movies actually sustained the momentum of domestic animation. And these works all lived up to audience expectations and further strengthened market confidence.
Definitely. The animation sector is not only booming in the Chinese market, but also global-wise. There are a lot of the animated film stood out this year, not only哪吒, but also Minecraft, and also Nobody, as you just mentioned. Well, we'll have more to share later in this program, so stay with us. And coming to my next question, so what is your select and what movie stood out to you this year?
Oh, yeah. The movie I pick is Operation Hadol, which is called the 蛟龙行动 in Chinese.
And why is that?
I have to bring you a whole story of my visit to Qingdao this August. So I was there for a work assignment, but when I visited the place, I had no idea that China has a Hollywood level film production base. And it is truly worthy of the name, the Oriental Metropolis of films. And there are 40 state-of-the-art sound stages in the whole complex, and plus one Asia's largest single soundstage spanning 10,000 square meters and one underwater shooting facilities. And the whole complex is about the size of 500 soccer fields.
Wow.
So you can imagine how stunned I am walking into the complex, right? And back in 2017, when the whole complex wasn't completed, they were already hosting the production of films like Wandering Earth, which is a box office success. And later on, it also hosted the production of films such as The Creation of Gods, 封神, Moon Man, 独行月球, and also Operation Hadol. So all of these works are born from this very place. So this integrated film complex, blending cutting-edge technology with a complete industrial ecosystem, has truly become the cradle and dream factory of Chinese sci-fi cinema. And during my visit, most of the sound stages were occupied by ongoing productions. And the only one I had the chance to enter was the immersive set for Operation Hadol. Actually, I was there, Xiaofei was there. We were both blown away the minute we stepped into it because it's a submarine and it's almost like one-to-one recreation of a real submarine.
Wow.
I was blown away by the attention to the detail. And you know, Operation Hadol, the most intense fight scenes, chases, hand-to-hand combats, all the exciting things you see on the cinema are shot in this authentic submarine in the production base, right?
Wow. Was it under the water?
No, it's not, but it's built on the surface of the water.
Oh.
And actually, you walk into the compound, you see the docking area, and you see the missile and torpedo display areas, and it's everything so real. And you could only imagine when an actor or actress standing in those places, he's able to get into the character so quickly and connect with the environment so instantly.
Wow.
That was awesome.
It was quite an immersive experience for you.
Yeah. And also I should add, I toured this place alongside renowned Hong Kong director Stanley Tong.
Tang Jili.
Yeah, you all know him, right?
Yes.
He's a very experienced actor and director in Chinese cinema. He's actually the first Chinese director to bring his work Rumble in the Bronx to Hollywood in the 1990s.
With Jackie Chan?
Jackie Chan.
Yeah, so he's really the pioneer. So, and everybody knows he's a Kung Fu star, right? He began as a Kung Fu star. So when we were in the submarine, he also showed me how he made choreography for action moves. He's in his 60s, but he's still very quick, and he's still very energetic. And I was also once his Stanley Tang selected actress. Yeah,
Nice.
Very professional.
I was approved by Stanley Tang. I'm very proud. So together we made a thriller spy scenario set in the submarine, and my conversation with him also made me realize how Chinese cinema has gone from the very early stage till now, which is being recognized by the whole world, which is truly amazing.
Wow. So the real set in the gigantic studio, and the title itself, Operation Heido, is a milestone for the Chinese cinema. It's because it's the very first nuclear submarine film, right?
Yes, yes. So the topic is really unique, and it tells a gripping story. Plus, the intense fight scenes, the visual effects. So this is the one I definitely pick for 2025.
Good
What about
stuff.
you?
Well, my pick is actually a history title called Dead to Rights. It's a movie tells us the story of the Nanjing massacre, and the plot itself is based on real stories. Actually, not only this film, there were a slew of movies about the wartime, because this year we're marking the 80th anniversary of the victory of Chinese people's war of resistance against Japanese aggression, and also the World War II. So this year is a big year for this type of movie to come out. We've got the Dongji Rescue 731, which is also known internationally as Evil Unbound, and also the recent released movie called Ge Zhi Tang. They were all about this part of the history. There was one line from the movie Dead to Rights actually resonates with me a lot, which is it says, "Photographs may fade, but history does not." So for me, forgetting this part of the history isn't just erased. It's a second massacre to Nanjing and the people who died at the wars. So this type of movie actually this year resonates with a lot of the Chinese audiences, because it renewed the collective memory of that special time.
I think this year is truly a special time, and the cinema reminds us to remember the history and cherish peace. And it's also a great case showing that movie isn't just about entertaining, it's also about educating and telling people how you think of this world and your understanding of this
Yes,
world.
and not to forget about the past. So this is also going to reshape how the youth to view the world in the future.
Definitely.
And these are very heavy conversations, but they remind us why cinema matters, not only for entertainment, but also for dialogues from the past to present. And speaking of dialogues, 2025 were not just about film screenings and box office records. It's also a big year for movie festivals in China. So since Xiaofei, you have been to most of the film festivals in China, I want to ask you and Mo Han, what's your experiences, what you have learned from the festivals, your experiences?
Yeah.
First of all, I will show my film festival bag here.
Wow.
Yeah, I have lots of bags from the film
Wow.
festival.
Let me see.
Yeah.
This is
This
from
one,
Beijing International Film Festival.
Yeah, here have the festival name, Beijing, and this one is Shanghai International Film Festival, and
I
this
love
one
the color.
it's colorful. This one is very colorful. It's Hainan Island International Film Festival.
Yes.
And I also have
Very
my
poetic.
tickets from the film festival. Yeah.
Wow.
Every year I will go to the film festival to watch some movies.
That's your gold mine.
Yeah. It's very
Show the
interesting
camera.
thing.
This is his collection for like maybe in the past 10 years, right?
Maybe
All
5
the-
years.
All
How
the
many years
tickets.
have you been to the film festivals?
How many years?
How many years?
I,
Maybe
10 years maybe.
more than 10 years, a little. Yeah.
I see some domestic films and also some artistic films, pop fiction, because, in a lot of film festivals, you see there's a screening section dedicated to those very classic movies of all time, right?
Yeah, so it's a platform for not only showcasing Chinese blockbusters and also new titles, but also it's a chance for a lot of Chinese film goers to watch non-released international titles as well.
I just came back from Hainan Island International Film Festival, and there I conducted some reports and some interviews, and the most memorable one was the conversation I had with Marco Muller. So he's really the pivotal figure in bringing Chinese cinema to our Western audiences. So I had a conversation with him, I interviewed him, and he spoke about the enthusiasm he felt during the festival. Every screening he went to, the cinema was packed with audiences, young audiences especially. And I mean, I was in some of the screenings, and I do see a lot of people, raising questions, raising hands, asking questions during Q&A sections, and they also have a lot of film posters waiting to be signed by foreign filmmakers. It's truly a unique experience you could only find in film festivals, right? And Marco Muller also spoke highly of Chinese filmmakers' unique aesthetics and sensibilities, and he revealed some of the very good works that has been nominated or won award at many international film festivals like Cannes, Venice, Berlin Film Festival. You do see a lot of great Chinese works this year. I also interviewed some of the filmmakers from Southeast Asia, particularly Thailand, because this year marks the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations between China and Thailand. So there is also a special screening dedicated to Thai films. And I don't know about you guys, your knowledge of Thai films in general.
Bad Genius, 天才相手.
Yeah, very popular. There are quite a lot of popular films of Thai films in Chinese film market, right?
Definitely. There are also Thai producers and also set producers. They were at the Beijing International Film Festival, encouraging Chinese filmmakers to go over to Thailand to film because they provide the set and the technical solutions for them. They actually give us previous examples such as Wuxia 3, and they were encouraging more Chinese filmmakers to go there. And also they were in the hope to bring more Chinese tourists to Thailand as well.
Wow. So we do see a lot of cross-culture exchanges between China and different countries. And you mentioned Thailand film producers. I talked to a few of them, and a lot of them are seeking investment from Chinese people to, invest in their movie. They talked about having a blockbuster film that is going to be shot in Thailand next year. So they're seeking cooperation opportunities and investments from China side.
Fantastic stuff. So apart from your merch, Xiaofei, I was wondering, what else have you explored the festivals?
Yeah, I think film festivals always come up with their own cultural and creative products. Local cities also use these events to promote cultural tourism. For example, at this year's Shanghai International Film Festival, the old Caoyang cinema reproduced the tickets from the Caoyang cinema of the 1970s, and people could stamp their own seat number on it, and that was a pretty special experience, I think. And the Hainan Island International Film Festival holds open-air screenings on the beach. That's really fun. It not only highlights what Sanya is known as a coastal city, but also gave audiences a unique experience.
Sounds really romantic, watching film on the beach.
We did a live stream on the beach cinema together, and people are asking, my audiences are asking, oh, where's this place? Where's this place? Tell me. Yeah, people are eager to come to China, not only to feel the scenery, but also, get to know more about Chinese movie works.
I need to watch a film on the beach sometime in the future.
You know, at the end of the year, it's a very rewarding experience for us.
Yeah, and China travel with Chinese film is really catching on in China. People love visiting movie locations, like how Naja boosted tourism in several cities after it became
Like
hit.
Shanxi,
Yeah.
Shanxi.
Tianjin and
Sichuan.
Tangguan,
Yes.
places like that. What about you?
Well, I met with a French distributor at the Beijing International Film Festival. His name is Boris Punet, and he actually blown my mind because I asked him whether there were some difficulties for foreign audiences to understand the Chinese culture, especially for the film Ne Zha 2. He said the European audiences are quite familiar with Asian animation, so they're very used to watching that. So they're also expecting more Chinese animation movies to go abroad. And I asked also about the subtitles and the dubbing processes. He actually encouraged more Chinese filmmakers and creators to upfront the post-production period when it comes to dubbing and subbing, so that the Chinese titles can be distributed simultaneously internationally.
That is great to hear.
Yeah, I think it's a very good suggestion from a foreign distributor to Chinese movie makers when it comes to if they want to explore the global market and how they can success in it.
I think in the end, what really matters is whether you have a good story or not, and whether you have the technique to bring life to this story you're trying to tell, and to make people believe it and to make people love it. And Ne Zha is a great example.
Yeah.
The production level actually helps to explore, because we all value good movies, not in China. It's a universal thing. And it's such a great thing that for movie festivals to connect everybody together, from foreign distributors to Chinese filmmakers and film lovers and audiences all together on the same platform. And now I actually have another bigger question to both of you. Is Chinese audience changing their taste? Because this year we've seen big blockbusters like Ne Zha and also other movies in different genres. So it's kind of different from previous years. What do you think about this? Are the young audiences becoming more selective? Are they developing more specific trends or tastes?
Well, before answering this question, I would like to reference an online survey. So according to the numbers, 32% of viewers now prefer watching domestic films. And while viewership of Hollywood movies has decreased by 17%, indicating a notable downward trend. And as for motivations to visit cinema, engaging themes and stories, high ratings or positive reviews, visual effects, high production quality, and resonating with audience emotionally or striking a personal chord, these are all the primary reasons for an audience to go into the cinema to enjoy a movie. And as for me, because this reminds me of the movie that I watched this year, which is called The Lychee Road, 长安的荔枝. It's adapted from Ma Boyong's best-selling novel of the same name. And I personally love the novel so much, so I went into the cinema to see. And I think it's such a great adaptation because the whole story is set in Tang Dynasty. But it cleverly ties into some well-known historical anecdotes of Counselor Yang's love for lychees. And at the same time, we've seen the nuanced dynamics of modern workplace. Whether you are a newcomer or a seasoned professional at a workplace, you will definitely feel resonated with the characters and their choices, right?
So the plot itself travels us back to the Tang Dynasty, but the story itself kind of reflects the modern life, right?
Yeah.
It's both old, but it's both new. You don't have to understand too much about the background information, how Tang Dynasty works, what does the society look like in Tang Dynasty. dynasty. But if only you have job experience in the work field, you will understand what it's talking about. It's all about how you communicate with your superior, with your colleagues in difficult times, right?
Actually, I also noticed something from the Lychee Road movie. It not only has the movie, it also have like a whole ecosystem of cultural products like the TV series and like the stage play, which is quite new for me to learn. And how about you, Xiaofei?
In my opinion, the Chinese film market is huge, which means there is room for all kinds of movie here, as long as they are well produced. Take this year's F1 the movie, for example. Even as a racing film, it did really well at the box office in China. Another good example is Spanish director O'Neill Polo. His movie like The Invisible Guest and During the Song have also been very popular with Chinese audiences, scoring high ratings and strong ticket sales. Yeah.
So the tastes are more diverse.
Yeah. And I think Chinese audience never fail to reward a truly great film, be it domestic or foreign film. F1, you mentioned, The Invisible Guest are all of my favorites.
Yeah. And over the years at Chinese film festivals, you will notice more and more films from different countries making their way here. This shows the progress in global film culture exchange and highlights how huge the Chinese film market is, I think.
Definitely. And following up, this is that not only Chinese film market has room for big blockbusters like哪吒animation film, it also have room for internationally produced animation titles such as Zootopia, which is I want to talk about. The world Zootopia creates is actually a utopia for animals. This actually is very similar to the big cities in China, such as Beijing, Shanghai, and Shenzhen. They're very fast-paced, and animals, big or small, they can find their position and live their life there and have a strong connection to the city. Despite the complaints of 内卷, which a lot of the internet users are saying nowadays, we still believe hard working as a pathway to success. It's the same with the movie character Judy Hopps.
Well, I just went to the cinema and watched Zootopia 2nd in the past weekend, and I absolutely love it. I love the characters, and who wouldn't love having a partner and friend? I think this is the part that really strikes a chord with audience, because we all have a very good friend. We all go on adventures with a friend or take on challenges with a friend. The story itself is very gripping, and not to mention these very cute cartoon figures, Judy and
Nick. Yes, it's a typical family movie, good for the kids to watch, and also the adults. When we see the film, we also find values from it.
Yeah, I also noticed that this film had a pet-friendly screens. Yeah, where many viewers brought their pets to the cinema. It's very curious.
I think it's buzzing on the internet now.
Yeah.
This really says a lot about Chinese cinema. We can accommodate the need for every audience, whether you bring your child, you bring a pet, you bring your family, there's always a place for you.
And also I noticed one thing, that the cinema actually lowered the volume for the pet friends. So
Very sweet.
Yeah, it's a very heartwarming thing they do. When global creators generally engage with Chinese audience, they gain recognition that reaches far beyond single market. And talking about the bigger picture, China's film market selecting the global content, we've got Li Yu joining us online from CGTN Spanish department. Hi, Li Yu.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a real pleasure to join you remotely.
I hear you've been keeping a close eye on Chinese animation and even got a chance to visit the Shanghai Animation Film Studio to chat with the creators of the film called Nobody. Can you tell us a little bit about what you saw there and learned?
I'd love to share two key takeaways from my recent interview with the team at Shanghai Animation Film Studio and the creators behind Nobody. First, there is a truly unwavering respect for animation roots. Shanghai Animation Film Studio, founded back in 1922, produced classics like Monkey King. Today's creators honor the legacy, keeping Chinese animation grounded and culturally confident. Second, we are seeing some remarkable creative breakthroughs. The team behind Nobody took a bold approach by centering the story on ordinary, overlooked characters, and that choice resonated deeply with the audience. Beyond individual film, there is also a thriving animation ecosystem. Platforms like Bilibili have become gathering spaces for young creators and fans, while short-form animation aligns perfectly with how global audience consume content on digital platforms today. So when we talk about the current boom in Chinese animation, it's really no accident. It's a result of decades of groundwork, where heritage and innovation reinforce each other.
This year, the Spanish language film have been gaining more attention in China. What are your observations on this trend?
That's really interesting trend to watch this year. One thing I have clearly noticed is that the Spanish language film are gaining much stronger visibility in Chinese major international film festivals. Multiple titles were shortlisted for main competition awards, and several of them won key prizes, highlighting how Spanish language notification storytelling is also resonating strongly with Chinese juries and audience. So overall, I have to say this year marks a moment when Spanish language films are moving from the margins towards mainstream critical recognition in China, which is a very positive sign for future culture and the cinematic exchange.
Chinese films are actively reaching out to the international market. How do you see this trend developing?
This trend we can clearly see accelerating right now. I think Chinese cinema is entering a phase of more confident and more strategic global engagement. On the one hand, there is growing international market impact. A good example is哪吒 2, which did not just perform exceptionally well at home, but also drew significant attention overseas. On the other hand, we are seeing deeper institutional and festival-level collaboration. The partnership between the Shanghai International Film Festival and the San Sebastian International Film Festival is a strong signal, I think. And this kind of collaborations go beyond one-off screening. They create long-term channels for cooperation, talent exchange, and mutual visibility within the global film circuit. So overall, I have to say Chinese cinema is no longer just going out to be seen. It's increasingly joining global conversations as an equal participant, with clearly positioning, stronger confidence, and a more sustainable international strategy.
Thanks a lot, Li Yu, for these great insights on animation and Chinese film going global. Really interesting stuff. Now let's switch gears and talk about China-Russia film exchanges this year. We're joined online by Xie Min, a reporter who's been following collaborations between the two countries. Hi, Xie Min.
Thanks for having me. It's great to join you online and share some insights on China-Russian film exchanges this year.
To start with, what highlights stood out in China-Russia film exchanges this year?
This year, China-Russian film exchanges have been especially active. One clear highlight was the Russian release of哪吒 2 in May. It was very well received, particularly by families. Industry professionals noticed this too. Yulia Asentinskaya, chief producer of Soyuz Mode Film, told us in an interview that she was impressed by the animation quality, especially details like costumes and hair textures. She also pointed out how fast Chinese animation technology is advancing. Another important moment came in September when Dead to Rights was released in Russia. Based on the Nanjing massacre, the film served as a reminder of history and peace and helped Russian viewers better understand the shared wartime experience between China and Russia. We also saw strong festival exchanges as we celebrating the 75th anniversary of China-Russian diplomatic relations. Chinese film festivals were held in Moscow, Kazan, and St. Petersburg, while Russian film festivals took place in Beijing, Xining, and Lanzhou. These events created direct connections between filmmakers and audiences on both sides.
And as a co-production, how has Red Silk been received in the market?
The Red Silk is a very representative China-Russia co-production based on real historical events. The film tells us a story of Chinese and Soviet agents working together in 1927 to protect a crucial document. It was filmed in both China and Russia with crews from both sides closely involved throughout the entire production. In terms of market performance, the response has been encouraging. In Russia, the film earned nearly 700 million rubles, which is about $8 million. It later premiered in China as part of events making the 75th anniversary of China-Russian diplomatic relations and the 80th anniversary of victory in World War II, and continued to receive positive feedback from both countries. More importantly, Red Silk has strengthened confidence in the China-Russia co-production model. Industry insiders see it as a proof that such collaborations can be both meaningful and commercial viable, helping films connect audiences and succeed in the market.
Thanks so much, Xianmin, for giving us a close-up review on China-Russia collaborations. Back in the studio with Xiaofei and Mohan, as this program coming to an end, we decided to have a fun segment for each of us to recommend a film in this year. So what is your take?
You first.
I'd like to recommend a new film called Shanghai Wanton. It's a warm story about family, neighbors, and those small acts of kindness in daily life. It really shows how food can bring people together and feel hearts. In this movie, you can really feel the warmth, the sense of a community, and the real emotions. It's not a big action blockbuster, but it's full of heart and feels so real. If you want to see a movie that's warm, full of heart, and shows a real Chinese feeling, you should see it.
Is this film in Shanghai dialect?
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool. Looking forward. Well, for me, so the movie I recommend is Detective Chinatown 1900. So this epic prequel takes the franchise back to 1900 San Francisco's Chinatown, blending classic comedy plus suspense vibes with raw historical truth, partly shot in the United States of America. So I highly recommend.
Fun stuff.
What about you?
Well, my pick is called Shenzhou 13. It's an documentary movie produced by CMG with 8K ultra high definition quality, and it's the first actually 8K documentary feature filmed in space. So it's quite a record-breaking thing, and also it take a look at the taikonauts' life in the space. So it's fun and tech-heavy. If you have chance, I recommend it. Thank you for sharing, and thank you to all of our guests, both online and here with us, for your insights. As we wrap up today's conversation, one thing is clear: Chinese cinema in 2025 is more diverse, more confident, and more open than ever before. We look forward to another year of story worth telling and films worth watching. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.